Although it's now been over 20 years since the heyday of grunge, there are still many post-grunge outfits carrying the style that once defined a generation. But no matter the post-grunge band you are currently into, it's worth aiming your attention toward a band who has returned with new music and wasn't post-grunge. They were directly in the thick of the grunge days and was able to combine their alternative style into that era. Candlebox is the multi-platinum selling band who still has their singles played on 90s and alt-rock stations throughout the US. Disappearing in Airports marks the 6th full album in a 25-plus year career under the band name, which includes a 6-year hiatus, reunion, a 4-time platinum selling debut, and major network appearances including 2 performances on The Late Show with David Letterman. Candlebox's music style is slowly becoming a relic in the sense that rarely do we hear music in a mainstream market that includes acoustic and range and higher-end percussion in an upbeat style that also doesn't include vulgarity and twerking. In many ways, Candlebox's identity has been made through creating complete tracks that progress and build into a dynamic chorus, not just a standard verse-chorus solo format that guarantees a spot on a generic top 10 list. But in the case of 2016, Candlebox say they want to try something different. In Kevin Martin's own words, "I want to take Candlebox into a new world," and this record is very different, very diverse for us. It's about growth and pushing the band in the direction for a new audience. It's up for debate if Disappearing in Airports is truly a different venture for the band, or if it still feels like this came straight from the early to mid-90s, but regardless of either feeling, it still has that unique vibe from that decade and how at one time, this was the music style that dominated the world. This was the high standard that everyone got behind. Vexatious was the first song released and used to promote Candlebox's 6th full album and return after a few years of being on the shelf. I like the song for its build from the opening minute and the upbeat feel. Even though the vocals aren't fast, the song feels like it moves quickly, mainly in part to some solid drum work that carries the song. It's rhythmic and easy to get lost in. When you hear Vexatious and compare it to the band's more famous songs like Far Behind and You or even Cover Me, you do notice a more positive feeling than the tracks made in the grunge years. When you think about Martin's statement on A New World, this song kinda confirms that idea. While there are still reminiscent qualities of the band in this song, it still feels like it's in a different category when compared to songs from their self-titled album over 20 years ago. While Vexatious is a good indicator and base for what you'll hear on the album Disappearing in Airports, there are a few tracks that feel much more like a flashback to the 90s. It's in these moments you remember just how talented Candlebox is and how much of a dynamic they can create in one song, from a simple opening chord to blowing things wide open by the end. Alive at Last is a song I could listen to every day for weeks. Hearing Martin bellow out "I'm never going home" is something just about everyone instantly can get behind and shout along with. This is the type of song I think Candlebox does best. Tracks like Alive at Last and Spotlights are when the album shines. You can hear the passion in the writing and performance and it instantly sticks with you. The first half of the album has much more replay value and tracks to get behind than the latter. Whether listening all the way through or just selecting out a song or two to play, there is a noticeable pull towards tracks in the first half. It's the front half and especially Alive at Last and the album opener that will sell the band's 2016 entry. Pushing the band in a new direction for a new audience is a worthy goal for a name that has been around for over 20 years. But when the highlights of your new album greatly reflect what they did best back at that time, it may just have people remember how good Candlebox is for a differently intended goal. The album might be enjoyed for an unintended reason. Overall, Disappearing in Airports proves that Martin and company can still carry a mood in their music and shine while going the extra mile in specific moments. Even if some tracks will be played more than others, any Candlebox fan over the past few decades will more than likely be very satisfied with this album.